My boyfriend destroyed the most cherished item I had from my late sister, claiming it was an accident, but I think he was malicious and did it on purpose because there's no way he's that stupid. Posted by you/Kinda Throwaway 1. I didn't mean for this to get so long, but it seems it has. Thank you in advance for reading. For background about my sister, 2 years ago, my 24F sister, Carrie, was killed in a car accident. She was riding with a friend to the mall, the friend's parent was driving, when a teenage boy plowed through a red light while texting and hit the car Carrie was in. Carrie passed away instantly, and her friend, June, was in a coma for 3 weeks before her parents took her off life support. When Carrie passed, I was devastated, angry, and just not in a good place. Carrie and I had been extremely close. Despite a 7-year age gap, we enjoyed a lot of the same shows, went to concerts together, volunteered together, and I took it upon myself to guide Carrie like any big sister would. Our parents were extremely busy with work most days, so Carrie and I would often cook together and do crafts when we weren't too busy with schoolwork. She wanted to be a NICU nurse when she grew up, and I helped her find a volunteer position at a local hospital to gain experience being around patients. In short, Carrie was my sister and my best friend, and when she passed, I was a mess. The last craft Carrie and I made together was a set of candles. We bought the wax at a local craft store and made each other a candle, decorating the jars they were in. That was literally the day before the accident. At her funeral, Carrie was buried with the candle I made her. The candle she made me sat on my desk next to my favorite picture of us together at the beach. Or it did, until last week. For background about my boyfriend, I met my boyfriend, Eugene, 27M, about a year and a half ago, about 6 months after Carrie passed. I wasn't looking for a relationship, I was still grieving my sister's death, but Eugene came along, and it was love at first sight. He was extremely supportive, let me cry on him when I needed to, and never pushed me to get over my grief. He was extremely gentlemanly about everything and very, very patient. After 6 months of seeing each other regularly, we made it official. Eugene came into my life at a very low point, and he has always been very respectful of the sentimental things I keep from my sister. He never asked me to put them away and always gave me space when I needed to cry. Eugene, along with most, if not all, of my friends and family, knows about Carrie's candle. After she died, I would take the candle with me everywhere out of fear that someone might light it, steal it, or who knows what. The point is, that candle was, and still is, a very important part of my life, something my sister made for me and me alone. When Eugene and I moved in together about 4 months ago, I packed away most of the reminders of my sister and only put out the candle and picture on my desk. This felt like a huge step because, when I lived alone, I had pictures everywhere and several knickknacks from my sister. I wanted to make our home while still keeping a small part of my sister there. Eugene understood and was very supportive. The issue, last week, we had a massive winter storm that knocked out power for more than 3 days. The power went out at our house while I was at work, which did not lose power. Eugene texted me that he was going to light some candles and try to get a generator so we could have some form of power, or at least be able to charge our phones and use lights. Now, we have at least 30 candles in our house. I'm a huge fan of sales, and whenever Bath & Body Works has a candle sale, I stock up on a range of scents. We have candles scattered all over our home. In the room where my desk is, however, there are no candles aside from the one Carrie made me, absolutely none. And there never have been. That room is also downstairs, where Eugene doesn't spend much time, his desk is upstairs. When I got home from work, I saw a bunch of candles burning in the living room, safely, not near anything flammable. One of them was the candle Carrie had made me. I burst into tears, and when Eugene heard me crying, he came out from the bedroom, where he was lighting more candles, and asked what was wrong. I was a wreck and couldn't get any words out. When he tried to calm me down, I shoved past him and locked myself in the room where my desk was, sobbing. I don't know how he could be so stupid. I thought he understood how sentimental that candle was and how much I cherished having something my now deceased sister had made with me just a day before her accident. I haven't spoken to Eugene since it happened, Tuesday of last week. He has tried to explain that he needed candles to see, but I just can't wrap my head around it. He didn't touch the large stash of candles we have upstairs, right by the living room where Carrie's candle was, but instead went downstairs, out of the way, to grab the most sentimental, cherished item I have. The candle burned most of the day while I was at work and is now melted and pretty much gone. I still have the jar it was in, but I can't look at it without bursting into tears. Reddit, what do I do? Eugene says it was an accident, but I just don't believe that. He said he was getting around to lighting the candle surplus we have upstairs but just hadn't gotten there yet, after being home for 6 hours alone with no power. I am heartbroken. This feels like a major slap in the face. I feel disrespected. I feel like he disrespected my sister. I just don't know what to do. I don't feel like I can forgive him for this. Can, or should, I try to work past this? Relevant comments. Commenter. I would absolutely end a relationship with someone over this. He must be a complete emotional idiot to think that this candle should be treated like any other. Also, I like how he tried to walk it back from my needed candles, and there was one to it was an accident. How freaking stupid must he be to think that this would be acceptable? Seriously, end it and don't look back. Ops response. Thank you for your response. I really don't believe it was an accident. From the living room to my desk, there are probably 7 to 9 candles in plain view that he would have had to pass, 3 of which were lit when I walked in. I honestly believe he did it on purpose. Thank you again for your response. Commenter 2. Has he apologized sincerely or just blown it off? The magnitude of his remorse should guide you in how to take this. If he was just an absent-minded dolt, then yeah, it was a mistake. But a more deliberate action would likely mean he shows little to no remorse. Ops response. He actually has not apologized but instead has tried to defend his actions by saying he needed the candle for light and then moved on to saying it was an accident. But thinking back, I don't think he has apologized for it at all. Commenter 3. This may be the wrong idea, and it may not help, but as a sentimental crafter, I have a thought. First, I'm so sorry about the candle. It's so clear that you're still grieving the loss of your sister. You still have the jar. On her birthday, or the anniversary of her death if that feels right, make a new candle in the jar. Pick her favorite color or something. When you make the candle, pour in all of your love for her along with the wax. Focus on that love as you pour. Think of the new candle as containing all of that love. Think of it now as something you made together. She made the vessel, you made the love. Just a thought. Maybe cheesy and stupid. But maybe not? Ops response. I actually teared up at work reading this. I never thought about making a new candle. I really appreciate the idea and will definitely consider it. She made the vessel, you made the love. That really got to me. I'm not over losing her because she was the one constant happiness in my life, and it's been hard. I will definitely consider a new candle to show my love for her. Update 20 days later. A few people have PM'd me in recent days asking for an update, so here it goes. My original post was the day before Thanksgiving. Eugene and I had planned to spend Thanksgiving with my parents, but that did not end up happening. On my way home from work, I stopped at a local craft store to pick up supplies to make a new memorial candle for Carrie. Thank you so much to that one commenter for the amazing and heartfelt suggestion. My parents and I spent a day remembering Carrie and making a new candle using some of the wax from the original one. I also ended up purchasing a locket and had some of the remaining wax from the candle put inside, with a locket welded shut by a friend. On the evening of my post, I got home and Eugene said he wanted to talk. I agreed that we needed to clear the air before Thanksgiving, so we sat in the living room and started to talk. I was not ready for what he told me. A few commenters from my original post seemed to hit the nail on the head in a way. Eugene told me that when we first met, he was extremely turned on by the fact that I was essentially a damsel in distress. I had just lost my sister, I was in a massive depression, and I wasn't myself. And that turned him on both intimately and in a protective way. Over the past few months, I've started to become more myself. I got promoted at my job, I've joined a cooking class and have gotten out more, and I've definitely moved away from being a damsel in distress in Eugene's eyes. He went on to explain that he burned the candle in hopes that it would throw me back into that phase because that was the only time he felt attracted to me. That's right, he is not attracted to me unless I'm upset, crying, and a damsel in distress. When I prodded for more information, he told me that everyone he had dated before me had either just experienced a loss or was in need of rescuing. Eugene told me he was no longer attracted to me. He dreaded having any intimacy with me because he could no longer be the hero rescuing me, which was what turned him on in the first place. He didn't like going out in public with me because I had started to put myself together more, not just wearing a t-shirt and jeans like I did when I was depressed, which attracted the stares of other men that he saw as a threat, taking away his damsel in distress. Eugene had a whole laundry list of things he hated doing now because I wasn't in a funk anymore. I told him that if that was the case, then we needed to break up. He agreed and said he would stay with a friend until he could make new living arrangements. My name is the only one on our house, and I told him I would give him 60 days to vacate, which he agreed was fair. Over the past few weeks, I've spent a lot of time with my parents and close friends. I don't really feel like I've been dumped or like I broke up with someone. I just feel like me. Carrie's candle sits on my desk where the original one was, and I wear the locket every day. Thank you, Reddit, for listening. I appreciate it more than you know. Relevant comments. Commenter. I'm upset that she gave him 60 days when only her name is on the lease. Dude can light your entire life on fire and really distress you. Commenter 2. Depending on how long they've lived there, he likely has tenants' rights. I've read too many horror stories on here about the kind of crap those laws have led to. Luckily, this seems amicable, and they both want him to leave. Commenter 3. I'm absolutely shocked that someone that batcrap insane has the self-awareness to realize why he did it, initiate a conversation, and agree that it's best they break up because of his issues. I hope he gets help. He might benefit a lot from it, considering he is so self-aware. Commenter 4. I don't know, is he? He has the self-awareness to know he does messed up things, but the way it came across to me in Op's account, he doesn't think those things are all that messed up at all. He was like, hey Op, just so you know, I'm only into you when you're an emotional wreck. I tried destroying you emotionally to get you back to that point, but it didn't really work, so basically, I'm not into you anymore, and we should break up. All good? Commenter 5. Honestly, I think it speaks to a lack of empathy, if not for everyone, then at least for the women he dates. There are plenty of guys out there who, for whatever reason, are attracted to women in distress, and not all of them are horrible human beings. But the fact that this guy actively seeks out these women exclusively, hurts them to maintain that dependence or distress, and is self-aware enough to verbalize these tendencies implies that he feels entitled to this sort of broken woman. I'm no doctor, so I'm not trying to diagnose this dude from afar, but I'd wager that he has some sort of personality disorder beyond just the fetishization of women in emotional pain and a hero complex.